Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And in this one, I wanted to give you guys an update. We're less than 2 weeks away from Vanguard releasing, and also at the same time, there's a lot of wheels turning in the right direction, finally, after so much has gone on over the last year. So at the same time, I also wanted to cover both the personal and the content side of things, because I think it's also important for you guys to know a little bit about Jack the person versus Jack the content creator. Now, granted, there are a lot of things that those two have in common, but at the same time, especially when it comes to the mask and no mask, I mean, there's quite a bit of a difference. And at the same time, before we're content creators, before we're anything on here on YouTube or, you know, whatever it is that you decide to do or anything, whether you're a boss, whether you're this or whether you're that, we're human beings first. So I think it's also very important to be relatable and to keep to your humanity, so to speak, and just not, you know, and always be who you are as a person. So I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of that, and they kind of go hand in hand, because content creation is finally going to start getting better. There's a thumbnail editor that I'm working with, so thumbnails are going to be looking great, and also at the same time I'm working on a rebrand, so that way I can basically get everything looking 100% the way I want it to look. And at the same time, I got a badass that's going to be helping me with that. At least I hope so. We'll see. There's going to be further discussions about that. But for right now, it's just thumbnails. But as long as I keep it basic, which my view is pretty basic, I think it could be done. So that's just that's what's going on right now. And there will be well, it's not going to be like around the corner, but it's down the street. There's also going to be some hardware and software upgrades as well. So that way there will be better streams. There will be better quality of content in terms of what you guys are seeing, in terms of the footage and all that kind of stuff. All of that is finally happening. However, as we all know, doing YouTube is a privilege. If you have the ability to basically make videos and stuff like that, play video games in your spare time, and do this whole YouTube thing, the stream thing or whatnot, ultimately at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's an absolute privilege, right? So there are other things out there in life that are more important. And to get into the personal stuff a little bit, it was only a week ago where Mama Trades was actually in the hospital, and I take care of Mama Trades. She relies on me 100% for literally everything, and she's got a laundry list of health issues. And but thankfully, though, this time for what she was in the hospital for was nothing compared to what it was starting 6 years ago after Dad died. She was in and out of the hospital like multiple times a year with multiple different heart procedures that needed to be done, including open heart surgery, carotid artery surgery, and she's also a type 2 diabetic, which doesn't help at all. And then there's everything in between that happens with that. So, and there's the medication side of things, and unfortunately I can't put her under my insurance plan because it's from work, and you can only put your spouse or your kids under it. Unfortunately, you can't put your parent, which sucks, but that's okay. At this point right now, I feel very humbled and very blessed that I'm able to take care of every single need that goes way beyond bills, and it goes to her needs, medicine, you name it, and I'm relieved, and I feel very blessed that I'm able to do so, especially when you compare to where I was financially last year and how I was basically stuck no matter how hard I tried. But eventually, like the song from The Crow says, it can't rain all the time. So, and obviously I worked very hard for it, and I worked very hard over the last 8-9 months with crazy amount of hours of work to basically kind of rebound from the financial strain that COVID and not being able to find something reasonable out there for a second job did. But thankfully we have recovered and things are looking very well. And because of everything that's going on with Mama Trades and how that's more important, I am going to, granted, the rebranding is happening and the thumbnails are going to happen, and the thumbnails are happening, the rebranding is going to happen. But in terms of hardware and stuff like that, I don't want to spend that kind of money yet. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a PC. We're talking like a 3070 or a 3080 build with at least 32 gigs of RAM, and either an i9 or an AMD, probably an AMD, because I'm going to be multitasking, and AMDs are better for that, and a good motherboard and everything in between that kind of goes hand in hand with that. And the reason why I want to build like that is also just in case my Xbox Series X goes down the shitter. If it goes down the shitter, it's like, what else do I got? I sure as hell can't rely on finding another console or whatnot. That's gonna be very hard. Even though I have this one on warranty, it would take way too long for anything to happen thanks to what's going on today. So a pre-built PC, and I do know I do know somebody that would be able to help me in terms of getting the most bang for my buck and not being ripped off by these people, and they specialize in that actually. So I've already got that I already know when I'm ready to pull that trigger. I already know exactly where I'm going to head on. And on top of that, my best friend also works in IT, so I'm surrounded by good people. Like my dad used to say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So we're talking about the new PC with the specs like I just mentioned, as well as new software, new capture cards. That way I can play at 120 frames or more and capture a crisp 1080 60 while doing that at the same time, as opposed to going back in theater mode. And theater mode will be returning in Vanguard, so I'll be able to go back and capture footage after a PlayStation, I almost said PlayStation, but a session. So there's a positive in that. And so all in all, though, life is more important, and especially if you are responsible for somebody else in a very deep state to where they rely on you as much as Mama Trades relies on me in that aspect. And especially with everything going on to where everything is starting to get more expensive, it's always good to be prepared and to always focus on the important first, and then you can play later on. So I have one of my jobs to where I make the most amount of money that I make. Basically is a seasonal job, and that's going to start sometime before or after Valentine's Day, and then it goes on for like 6-7 months. So the work grind is going to happen again, except this time the schedule is much better, much more balanced, which is also going to help me with my personal life, because over the last few months I've had more time because season is over, and I've been able to balance my schedule finally to where I can have my cake and eat it too. And your boy is back exercising again, and I'm getting the mental and physical benefits from that. It's like everything else in your life, the volume gets turned down once you start exercising, once you start doing the things that you used to do, especially that was a career. Like I used to have a career in martial arts for 10 years of my life, and basically that always kept the volume down, and it always kept me healthy physically, mentally, and everything in between. And when you stop doing that, it's kind of like martial arts and exercise is kind of like a relationship. If you neglect her, she will leave you. So, and at the same time, it's always been in the back of my mind. It's like, hey, I don't want to lose the mental and physical abilities that I've gained throughout all my years of dedication and training and teaching as well. So it's like, and thankfully for muscle memory and all those little mitonuclei that are asleep in your muscles, they get reactivated when you start doing them again. And I am very happy, even at age 37, things are starting to come back. I can't say the same for my knees, because of all the abuse I put them through during martial arts training. I was 235 pounds at the time, and I was jumping way more than I should have. But I loved doing a lot of those jump kicks and those jump spin kicks. But I should have just done a lot more jiu-jitsu than I did at the time, which is a lot easier on your joints and a hell of a lot of fun. It's actually my favorite martial art. So after COVID starts to slow down a little bit, I'm going to be getting back into that, so that way I can finish my goals with that. Because in terms of stand-up, I've already done everything that I wanted to do and then some. But on the ground, in terms of grappling, jiu-jitsu, I still have unfinished goals. So that is going to be happening soon as well. But your boy is feeling really good mentally, physically, and everything since starting exercising again. It's been great. It's been great hitting the weights again and how things are starting to come back. I hate cardio, but weights are great. And then now that I don't want to spend too much time on one aspect, let's get into the content here. So obviously, I'm going to be covering Vanguard. I am going to be covering Battlefield 2042. I am going to be covering Halo Infinite. They are three very, very important games, and games that I personally am excited about, and I'm not the only one. I think all three of those games have something very unique to offer, not just from a gamer standpoint, but from also a content creation standpoint as well. And when it comes to this whole thing, I'm a commentator, so there's no reason why I have to limit myself just to one kind of game. Now, I am very well aware that that basically my meat and potatoes is Call of Duty, and that's great, and that's not something that I will completely walk away from, because as the Call of Duty fan that I am, I always want to play Call of Duty, and whenever a new Call of Duty is about to get released, I always look forward to it, and I always hope for the best. It just so happens that at the same time, through life and everything that happens, what you need to do is you need to be smart about it. You don't want to be falsely positive. You don't want to pull a Doug Sensor Martin, so to speak. You want to be reasonably positive. You want to make some sense out of it, right? So the thing is, my expectations are not too high. But I do expect the game to be fun, and it has a lot of potential to be fun. And so does Battlefield 2042. So does Halo Infinite. Hell, we got Forza coming out. We have all these games, and it's definitely a good time to be a gamer and a content creator. If you're privileged, like I said, to be a content creator, there is absolutely positive. It's definitely a good time to be one. And I'm looking very forward to kind of changing things up. So another thing that I'm going to get is I'm going to get a good camera. So that way, whenever I do put the mask on, whenever I do some of the other creative things that I haven't told you about yet, because I can't spoil everything, I got to leave something for a surprise. And give you guys something pleasant, but at the same time, you're gonna need a good camera, and then there's all the other pieces of hardware, like another another microphone and stuff like that. So between that, you got the camera, you got the PC, you got the microphone, and then you got a few some software here and there. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to upgrade it. And when I started this channel over 6 years ago, it was on a Walmart laptop and a Blue Snowball microphone. And that's all it was, really. And then I don't know how in the world on old hardware like that I was able to capture footage for Elgato from the Elgato, but somehow through some miracle it just ended up happening. It's not as good as this PC that I currently have now. That I'm very happy to have, but I definitely need an upgrade. She's been very good to me, and I will keep her. I'm not getting rid of her, but she's. It needs. We need a new one. We need a new member of the family, so to speak, into this whole thing. And I'm very excited to start doing that. And it's going to be around season when work starts to hit. So, but as you guys know, family is more important. Life is more important. So that has to be taken care of first. And season needs to be hitting at the same time. So that way, even though I always have extra and then some, I like to be extra secure and to have even more on the side because of the level of responsibility I have, and I take it very seriously. And I'm actually looking to give that an upgrade as well. So that way Mama Trades has an even better quality of life than she's been having over the last 6 years, because she's very deserving of it. When my biological father died, she worked her absolute ass off in order to provide everything for her kid. And now it's my turn, basically. So, and then I would like to be able to accomplish that as well. It's very personal to me. It's very important. So I look forward to doing that as well, which is a big thing. And it's going to happen soon. And I'm very confident that it will happen. I feel very good about it. And I know that when you truly put your mind to something, and it's going to happen. As simple as that. As long as you do what you're supposed to do and you put everything into it, it's going to happen. So, and I want to apply that same philosophy into the channel, and by upgrading everything, including the content and the hardware, the software, and everything like that, and just basically have the channel that I've always wanted to have, and with the quality that I've always wanted to have it in, and just present that out there and just have fun doing it, because ultimately we do YouTube for fun. That's the first thing, obviously. Some people are blessed to be able to do it for a living or some sort of income, which is great, and I feel very happy for those individuals that are able to do that, because it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that kind of thing, to where you can be your own boss and you can be creative and stuff like that, and the sky is basically the limit. And unfortunately, a lot of us are not able to do that, but at least you're able to at least have the fun, right? You don't have to make money at something to enjoy it. Granted, it probably becomes more enjoyable when you start making money at it, but you guys get the point. So there's a lot of good things happening. The wheels are finally starting to turn slowly. I'm feeling good mentally. I'm feeling good physically. Life is good. Positive outlook, positive attitude, and it's going to show on my channel. And especially when you compare it to where it was over a year ago, is a complete difference. And I am very much looking forward to sharing more with you as time goes on, and showing you a lot of the things that I've been cooking in the back of my mind, and which a few things I have mentioned over the last year or so, but there's more that I obviously have not. And as time goes on, you continue to learn, and you obviously continue to come up with new ideas, and to where literally the sky's the limit, which is an absolute beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube and about being a creator or an artist, in whichever form it is, whether you do YouTube or not. It's the freedom of your imagination and basically making that into a reality. And the most successful people in the world out there, when you do your research on some of these people and how they came to be, they were basically like, some people were like, oh, this is impossible, it can't be done, but they basically did it, and we have some of the greatest most successful people that we have today with the most interesting and fascinating stories. And they all have that one thing in common. So I, for one, am excited. And at the same time, I also look forward to what my other fellow content creators are doing as well. A lot of them have come a long way, and I am a fan. One thing I will always be is I will always be a fan of other content creators as well. And I also get inspiration from them as well, because when I see that they're creating something very, very unique and very good, or something very funny, no matter what it is, I get inspiration from that, and that fuels me. And letting that happen is just such, it's a beautiful feeling that you can't fully describe. It's something you have to experience it to understand it completely. But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. I just wanted to give you an overall update on everything. I hope you enjoyed this video for what it was. And you're going to be seeing Black Ops Cold War footage from now on, unless I have that much of a hard time getting gameplay. But that's all I got for this one, guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.